So, Andrew, you were at the Great Hall of the People when Premier Li Keqiang delivered his government work report. And what were the main achievements of China's economy and social development in 2022, as per the government work report, based on your observation?
Well, there are 3 points that I was quite impressed most. First of all, I think 2022 is a very difficult year because this is the COVID year, and there's a lot of lockdown, and a lot of the business come to a complete stop. I think the government has spent a lot of money, what I call fiscal policy. Fiscal policy meaning that it gives back part of the taxation and also reduction of the fee for people doing businesses. I remember I have a business in Shanghai, and we got rebates for maintaining the number of employees during COVID. If not because of all these tax rebates and reduction in fees, I think there will be a lot of companies going to bankrupt, and hence will increase the unemployment rate. So for the government done very well. That's the first point. Second point is in the worldwide inflation, especially in energy and food prices. I think government has done very well in maintaining the consumer price index or the inflation at 2%. This is a huge achievement. It's a huge achievement. When I talk to my friends in England and the US, they're suffering every day in terms of inflation of basic food stuff. So that I think impresses me. And the rest I thought will quite balance in terms of investment in technology, infrastructure, environment, etc., etc. Those are some of the things that the government has been doing for the last 5 years, or in this particular administration for the last 10 years.
Well, as a Hong Kong deputy to the NPC, what's your assessment of the development of the city over the past 5 years with the support of the Chinese mainland, despite all of those uncertainties and challenges?
I think Hong Kong has a very difficult 5 years, to be honest. I think one of the best years of Hong Kong is 2018, and then 2019, we have a big society issues that led to a really abrupt business activities. I think we're thankful that the central government gave us the national security law, and then this is in 2020. And in 2021, NPC and the central government legislate the new way of electing the one who are governing Hong Kong. That means electing the Legislative Council, electing the Chief Executive, and also electing what I call the National People Congress deputies. Then 2022, we're thankful that the central government, we have a new Chief Executive, but at the same time, it is also the 25th anniversary of Hong Kong handover. And President Xi came and delivered his speech for July 1st. And also, he also gave us an introduction of the 20th Communist Party meeting, resulting in the documentation that basically spelled out the future of China for the next 26, 27 years. I think those are very, very good confidence booster. Number one, Hong Kong is not in turmoil. Number two, central government want Hong Kong to be part of our growth plan. And number three, I think the chief executive has done a wonderful job in laying out, number one, housing supply, public housing supply, in laying out what we call technology investment and development as a new drive for growth for Hong Kong. And also quite a few infrastructure projects like the Northern District Technology Zone, and also the new reclaimed land for another central that is between the existing Hong Kong Island and our airport. All these, I would say, will be a far, far, far improvement than 2022, where Hong Kong experienced a negative 3.5 GDP growth. So in conclusion, I'm very confident in Hong Kong. I'm confident in Hong Kong because of all the reasons I spelled out. And I think the people of Hong Kong are quite together. Everyone wants a better change. Everyone wants new hope. And I think working together, we can achieve that.
As you may have also noticed that economic stability has been a focus in this year's, actually in the past few years, government work report. And China this year has set its goal, its growth target for its economy at around 5%. And this is on the modest side of what had been forecasted by many economists. So what message does it convey and what does it mean for the country?
I believe it is a good target. It's a balance of growth and safety also. A balance of growth and safety, meaning that I think the growth should not be just on the GDP number. To me, growth, the most important growth is the value addedness of that growth. Producing one C919 airplane, I think it's better than producing 10 million pairs of sports shoes. They might have the equivalent of GDP, but what we're looking for is high value added. That means high gross profit margin. So I think this is what the government is sending a signal. Now we want to be growing not only in size, but also in quality. So that is what I call a balanced approach. Now, I also think 5% is reasonable because like I mentioned just now, I think a lot of companies are recovering from the COVID, from the pandemic. So in the first 6 months, I think people are getting back together. Maybe consumption in hotel, F&B, entertainment, tourism will be rising. But I think it will take time for company to think about the next 2 or 3 year investment plan. I think when we see the consumer confidence coming back in the middle of the year, people will start spending. Consumption, also company investment. Now, I also think that we also emphasize a very safe monetary policy in today's premier speech. I thought it's very important. Monetary policy is that we should not be printing a lot of money. We should be maintaining our interest rate at the current level, which is very important because as the US dollar gets stronger, the US interest rate is very high also. Okay, in this particular case, we'll have a lot of pressure on renminbi. Okay, if we follow the US in increasing the interest rate, will not be good for our business growth. If we further reduce the interest rate, it might hit the value of the renminbi in terms of exchange rate. So I think the central government is very wise in maintaining a very balanced and a little bit more conservative monetary policy, which will be very beneficial for our next 3 to 5 years growth.
So the government work report also laid out 8 priorities for economic policy, expanding domestic consumption ranked it first, followed by improving the industrial system and supporting private sector. So how do you understand the signal sent by the report? And also, what's the significance of stimulating domestic demand and facilitating the growth of private sector?
I think this is extremely important. Private sector responsible for 70% of the employment, hence the stability of the whole society. That's number one. Number two, I think private sector is very wise and smart in using technology. We have companies like Huawei, Lingde Sidai. I mean, these are significant investment in technology that can be applicable immediately to the use. I see a common theme actually at today's Premier's report in terms of priority. I see technology investment or research and development money as the top priority for our country, of the top priority of the country. That means that when we talk about GDP growth, it's not the volume, it's the value addedness. It's a gross profit margin of the dollar amount of GDP that we're doing. Making one airplane is more difficult than making 10 million shoes. But the value added for airplane and the number of companies and industry that come along in the assembly of the airplane can make up hundreds and thousands of companies that could be very, very high value added. Now, I have a chance to visit the C919 airplane assembly, and I have a chance to visit some of the few companies that make electric vehicles. I'm very impressed of the investment we have made for the last couple of years. Some of them have come to a result. I'm confident to see and feel that we will be the biggest exporter for EV car in the world, period. The top 10 brand of luxury EV car in China is a better, if not quality, than any of the imported brand. It gives us the best, we call infotainment system, the best autonomous driving experiences, and the best value for the buck it is carrying. So I am quite happy to see the development, and I think both the premiums report and the 20th Party Congress report point to the direction that we should be keep investing in technology, research and development.